Hey guys, Shawn Ziem, the Connection Machine, and the Webtalk Legends Podcast host. We've been doing this many times. This is number 64, and it's all about providing value for you. Our guests come on, they share their story. You listen, you hopefully implement some of the ideas, the strategies that we're talking about in our conversation. If you do and it works, drop a comment afterwards. We love comments. So that gives me the little housekeeping rules now. For those that are popping in, if you're live, don't forget, don't just sit there and listen to us. Engage, drop comments. It helps the algorithm. Please, the least you can do is hashtag live. If you're on the replay, hashtag replay. On the live, if you are watching us, drop a comment where you're watching us from. And, we would love to know if throughout the conversation, drop your favorite emojis for agreement, disagreement, what have you. We want to have engagement. We want to see comments. We want to see a lot of good things. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to check out the description. We have a lot of things that we are offering and sharing with you. So definitely take advantage of those in the description. And if you are one that wants to be involved with the Web Talk Legends podcast, reach out to me. Would love for you to sit and have a conversation with me and have a phenomenal time doing it. So without further ado, let me bring on my guests. Bibiana, how are you?
I am excellent. How are you, Shawn?
I'm doing excellent. Thanks so much for joining us. This is live. We're live globally. We're all over the world, and we have
Well,
people tuning in. I'm seeing people popping in, and from a variety of different areas. We'll shout them out in a moment. Before we get into it, Bibiana, can you give us an intro of who you are and
yeah,
what you do?
absolutely. I mean, I am a Christian podcaster, so I got into this space just looking at different mentorship experiences that I had. I had an encounter with Tony Robbins, and I was introduced to Date with Destiny and Unleash the Power Within. I grew up in a Christian home, so we learned about positivity, and I realized that in order for a person to be well, they really need to be able to be well balanced in terms of their physical health, mental health, spiritual health, and their relationships. You can't just focus on one area. So, what I decided to do was, after the exposure that I've had to different types of mentorship and counseling, was really put together a podcast experience where I break wellness down into various pillars that help explain to people like you and me things that we can focus on in our day-to-day lives that help us improve our well-being, manage our state, manage our emotions, improve how we show up in our relationships. And this is something that has really fueled me, and it's something that I find passion in. So I have a creative background. I studied graphic design, and I think my creativity has also shifted me into opportunities to speak publicly. And I've always been interested in helping other people. So I think all of those experiences that I've had with my own personal development journey, being in touch with other mentorship opportunities has really kind of pushed me to start this, and it's an exciting path to be on.
No, it is exciting. You are passionate. You could hear it. You could hear it in your voice. It's something that you're really gung ho, that you're in love with, that you're ready to provide and help more people. And that's what's the right mindset to have. And I like what you said as far as positivity. Positivity is key for everything, no matter if we're talking about sales, we're talking about relationships, we're talking about in friendships. You have to remain positive as much as you can, even though you
Mhm.
might be going down some bad paths here and there, or you might have some trouble, some turbulence here and there. What are some things that people can do to help them with their positivity?
Great question, Shawn. I would say everything starts with a thought. Your thoughts are always the beginning of your actions, your behaviors, and ultimately your destiny. And I know it's cliche, like, oh, what do you mean my thoughts lead to my destiny? It's true, because whenever you encounter a situation, maybe an unprecedented challenge or trauma, you may not be prepared to deal with all of the repercussions of this situation, right? Or perhaps somebody lets you down, but what you can control is yourself. So one thing that I always highlight in my conversations, and something that I encourage anybody to do, is to really focus on the things that you can control, which is your state, your emotional state, and how you show up to every situation. So positivity means thinking the best about yourself and anybody else in a situation that you may be involved in. And meaning when it comes to negotiations, because I think a lot of life really involves you negotiating, you seeing another point of view with perhaps an individual that you may be in conflict with,
Mm-hmm.
and try to see things from their point of view, right? Acknowledge where they're at, acknowledge and validate their feelings, express your feelings, and then try to come to a place where you can meet in the middle, right? And it doesn't mean you bend on everything or the person bends on everything, but you want to be able to express where you are, how you feel, things that are in your area of control. Because Shawn, what happens is positivity is not so much, hey, like, I think, but it eventually leads to conversation. So if you're able to translate positive thinking, morning affirmations,
Yeah.
manifesting your future, speaking to yourself positively in the mirror, these small things that we can do really shift our quality of life and then shift how we show up with other people. But the first step is you have to start with your personal narrative, your inner dialogue, shift it from either negative to neutral or to positive, and then bring that into your conversation with others so that they can start to hear you. Because nobody, Shawn, is going to argue with your thoughts and your feelings. So if you're able to communicate that and express that in a healthy and positive way, there's nothing I can do to disagree with you. You have a right to that.
Yeah, you can feel the way you want to feel. And I like, yes, you can only control what you can control. You can't worry about things that are out of your control. And then a lot of people go down that path and it gets them frustrated, gets them upset. And it's important to have a way to acknowledge. I like that. Go to the neutral if you have to. Try to make a negative into a positive. It's a very key thing for your mindset to keep that mental state, because it'll affect you on the long haul if you're always, having that trouble. So having that reflection time is a key thing. And I agree with Bibiana. It's important to have that. It helps you with your wellness. And you said something about exercise. What is it that you have found that has been helping many people? I've been sharing with people, you just got to move. I was talking to my mother and I said, you got to just move, because
Yeah.
she's retired now. And she's like, I'm like, now is your job to go to the gym or just do something daily, because if you don't, you're going to just rot away in
Right.
reality, right?
I always recommend, many people post COVID work remote. I work remote. And I'm thankful that I have the opportunity, but the downside can be you move less. And so whether it's taking a walk every day, you have a phone, most people have phones. If you have Siri, use her to your advantage, set the alarm every day. Maybe it's 15 minutes. You put a block on your calendar saying break or lunch break, whatever it is, wellness break. Take time to go for a walk, get fresh air. If you live in a colder place, maybe you hop on a Peloton bike, or maybe you go to the gym. But really, really prioritize that time, whether it's 3 times a week to be able to go to the gym and do something, or if you live in a place that accommodates a daily walk, I highly recommend it. Another thing that I recommend, if you aren't big into lifting weights, or maybe you're not like a gym junkie, you have certain reservations about the gym, you start with something like the sauna, right? So start with the sauna and then do smaller exercises, maybe micro exercises in the comfort of your home. But honestly, whatever your comfort level is with doing exercise, whether you're somebody that's training for a marathon, or maybe you just kind of like to do small things on your own, I also recommend maybe an accountability partner, a friend, because that is really where you're going to exceed your goals. It really helps to have somebody that can encourage you along the way.
I've been posting my fitness journey. I have an accountability group, and I'm glad you brought that out, because when you are posting a sweaty selfie, I call it, or what you're eating or you're drinking throughout your day, if other people start doing that now, you're seeing it. And if I see Bibiana, she got her workout in at 5 o'clock this morning, And I'm like, shit, I didn't get it in yet. I got to get it in. Now it's on my mind. I have to make sure to get an appointment with myself to make sure I get that workout in, because it holds you accountable.
Absolutely. Sometimes joining a Facebook group that people are talking about nutrition, diet, and wellness in terms of physical exercise can be a good way to start. Sometimes it means going up to your local gym and saying, what do you offer? What type of classes do you offer? Because if you don't already have a habit of developing yourself into, the type of person you want to be on a physical realm, or you don't know how to weight lift, right? For example, or you don't know how to train for a marathon or reach certain goals on your own, it's a great alternative to just join a group that is leading that for you. So you don't have to think about what is my step 1 and step 2 and step 3. All you have to do is just show up, and that alone gives you accountability. And sometimes it means, befriend the instructor. Make friendships with people that you meet in social places where you can get exercise, and try to connect with somebody offline, right? Or away from the class. Try to schedule some time in where you can have a walk with a friend. Even if it's just a walk, once a week, a little goes a long way. And the beauty of wellness, right? Not just physical exercise, but how this plays out, Shawn, is that you don't realize it, but it really does start affecting your mental wellness when you do exercise, when you do take care of your body, when you start to complement exercise with a healthy diet. All of a sudden your mood gets better. You're releasing more endorphins. You have that dopamine rush, your testosterone levels could get higher. So there's so many benefits, and it really is imperative that we do focus on the impact that exercise in particular has on the rest of our lives.
You don't want to be an older grandma, grandpa, and not able to get off the floor. I want to be active. I want to be that person that, you look to. And that's the important thing. People have to find their whys, though. If they don't find their why, they won't push for that goal they might have. They might have certain strategies they want to start developing. They won't push for it. They want the motivation. So that's a very key thing. And I definitely agree with you with the physical activity will help your mental health because it's a stress reliever. It allows you to release those endorphins and feel good, after that workout, instead of, maybe you're having a tough day. Get a workout and see how that goes.
Yeah,
And
try shadowboxing. Yeah.
I'm a beach body coach. So there's a 10 rounds, and you basically shadow box. You learn how to jab, cross, hook, uppercut, and you have all a strategic as far as a trainer giving you all the what to do. And it's powerful. You could definitely do it in the convenience of your home too. So there's no matter what, you can definitely be active. And I want to take a pause from the wellness, and I want to talk about how important social media is with networking and how we got connected by Anthony Rosa.
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
It's funny. I met Anthony a few years ago when I decided that I wanted to work on my credit. So I was speaking to somebody in the mortgage industry, and I just realized my credit wasn't where I wanted it to be. And I was with him. Listen, credit kind of poor. I wasn't always wise. I made some decisions that were mistakes in the past, and so he connected with me, Anthony, and Anthony and I started working together. We worked on a great financial coach experience, and I really recommend, if anyone has any goals with their finances, whether it's savings, getting a CD, reach out to Anthony Rosa. I mean, he's a great guy. His story is phenomenal. Like, even just him talking about the way that he's built up his life, things that he's overcome in his personal life. I mean, the story that Anthony has with his life is unique, but shows that resilience. And so, we've been friends for a few years now. I would say maybe 3 or 4 years. And we reconnected last year. I was telling him about a couple of business ideas I had, and he really kind of helped me along the way and has always been great at just putting different people in my path, such as you, Shawn. And so Anthony He's always been posting on Facebook, somebody that's very active, continues to talk about his own journey of recovery and wellness and health. And he is just one of those people that I thoroughly admire in terms of, you're a go-getter, right? He's driven. And I knew that he would be a big fan of this idea. And I knew that he would connect me with people that are interested in what I'm doing. And I think another thing that Anthony is great at is just leveraging social media and just being a person that shows up online, right? It's a platform like anything that we have access to. We have access to information, but we have access to sharing what we know. So one huge thing that I noticed about being connected to him is just how much he does share and post and encourage people online. And I think that's how we should be using social media, right? Is the power of networking, yes, but also the power of our voice online. Share what you know. If you've been able to break past limiting beliefs or have a recovery process, share it online.
Well said. And yes, shout out to Anthony Rosa. I'll be tagging him so he can definitely get that, we'll get some promotion for him because yes, we're connected. I've known him for many years, and that's how we've developed our businesses together and others in our circle. It's about how can we help others.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, you were there with credit, but then there was something that came up and you're talking about doing a podcast, and he knows I've been doing podcasts for years now. He said and he set up a connection with us, a text message introduction, and that's where we're at right now. We had walked before, and we scheduled this, and this is how powerful this can be. Now, with doing a podcast as a host compared to being a guest right now, the first podcast you did, how did you feel going in, and how did you when you finished?
Yeah, I mean, when you go in asking people about their experience, their journey, you really are there for them. So when I interviewed the first person on my podcast, Andres Guarnizo, I realized, he was touching a lot of ground that was important for my audience to hear. It was important for me to hear, and I think I was more so kind of curious to hear about his journey, like what got him into coaching, what got him into helping people identify our basic human needs, right? Which is we all need to feel confident. So as I've been interviewing, I kind of realized like I took on the role of a moderator, but I'm there to ask the right questions, and the right questions will lead to high quality answers. So I believe that the quality of the questions that we ask determine the quality of our relationships in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And with podcasting, it's really a space where I can put this into practice because I really find, Shawn, and I'm sure that you find this to be true in your own experience, speaking to so many different people, is that really the first person that benefits from the information that's being shared is you.
Yep.
You're the first person that gets the information. You're able to probe, the person you're interviewing afterwards, but you're just generating a wealth of knowledge through this process. I think that's the huge benefit. Like it's the gift of being able to speak to other people, talk to them about what moves them, what drives them, what their purpose is, and really understand like what it is that they offer to the world, and really like help share that message with your audience, because ultimately you're the first person that's generating this, and you're able to apply advice from them in your own life and see how your life can shift and improve in your own in your own way, directly from the horse's mouth. So I don't necessarily do podcasting because I'm trying to get a specific goal out of it, other than just propagate good information. But I realized that by doing this, I'm the first person that's benefiting. I think that to me is like the biggest joy of all of it.
No, I agree with you. And one thing, it helps for those that have trouble listening to others. A lot of people go into we're having a conversation right now, and a lot of people always are in their top in the front cortex. They're always thinking about what they're going to say next, instead of just listening and learning from their guests. whoever's dropping the value. And just sitting back, and I agree with you. I learned so much, and I use that to all the conversations, and it helps me connect other individuals because now, if someone's talking about wellness and helping with mindset, I know who to go to. And it's
Mhm.
a very easy recommendation source. It's a great value that you're giving to others because not many people have the ability to host something or put something together. And it doesn't take that much time, but people just don't want to try. They've
Mm.
never done it. I've never used it before. I used to do Facebook Lives with my phone and used to be able to bring people onto a screen and do it that way. I love using StreamYard better than Zoom because it gives you different things that you can look like a TV show and
Yeah,
it's more professional. I,
agreed.
it's a powerful thing, and you can have different overlays, which is like I could have just like this, but how cool is that
Right.
compared? But you don't have to. You could just, it's all about the message that
Hmm.
you're getting out to your audience. And that's, you have the right mindset for the podcast because that's a key thing is not for sales, it's provide value. The
Yeah.
sales will come later on because
Yeah.
people are going to see your content, look at the description and use that and gain massive value. If people are not using what we're talking about, it's wasting their time for them to listen to us.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's the goal, right? Like we all kind of listen to our mentors in the capacity in which we can, right? Whether it's, listen to something on Spotify that you love, or you're a big Oprah Winfrey fan and you love her story and talks about her own struggles that she's dealt with and her trauma and really gets to the core of the message. But one thing that I highly recommend is really find something in that conversation or in that recording that you can apply, like whether it's a small piece of advice or whether it's, maybe a shift in a daily habit that you have. The point of digesting, and taking information in isn't just mentally assent. I mean, we can all do that in different walks of life, whether it's academics or spiritual or, signing up for counseling. Like I can pay for personal coaching and say yes, 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 but not apply anything. So I just wasted $2,000. No, the point is really like if you only grasp one thing, at least make sure that the one thing that you grasp, you're applying. You're applying to that. And I don't think that's so hard. I think that we just need to be people that are a little bit more intentional. So I would recommend, being a little bit more intentional. And one huge way that I have noticed in my own life to implement things and to follow up and follow through with information that I digest is bring a notebook, bring a pen,
Yep.
write it down. Journaling and write it down because I can't retain all of this, but I can add, I can come back to it later and say, who was that person that he recommended to look at on YouTube? Okay, cool. Let me go check out their channel. So,
It's all about taking action, like you're saying, applying, taking the action, taking the information, using it, and it's going to change your life no matter what that is.
mhm.
So taking a chance, trying it. I would love to, talk about, we have nutrition as part of wellness, right? And a lot of people think that they have to go on a diet, and diets are always going to fail. But changing your lifestyle will help you. And what are some strategies that someone that's looking to lose some weight or be healthier that they can apply for their new lifestyle with their nutrition?
Absolutely. I mean, there's so many different resources online that you can look into. I know of different types of diets that me and other people in my life have tried. But before you even follow a diet, you really need to start with your mindset. So the approach is never, oh, well, this is a diet that I'm going to try and I know it's going to fail like all the other ones. If you try Whole30 with a negative attitude, I don't care how reputable it is, it won't work. So the first thing that you need to apply is have some faith. Have some faith that the
Hmm.
process will work. Have some faith in yourself. Have some bravery to start that. And then, I think another thing is make small changes. Maybe once a week you cut out an ingredient, but you replace it with a nutrient-rich ingredient. So whether it's eating less, consuming less ice cream, and then incorporating healthy fatty acids or pistachios if you're not allergic to your diet, you can try that, and then small micro changes along the way. Another thing you can do is you can track these changes so that you remind yourself of all the progress that you've made. And over a 6-month time period, you don't necessarily need to go on something like Whole30 or a strict diet, but you're starting to make new habits that are starting to change your life incrementally, slowly but surely. And that's really how you develop change. Remember, it takes at least 3 weeks to build a new habit. So be gentle with yourself. I would say 2 months if you continue to practice something by a daily basis, like you're on a good track, but you do need to stay consistent.
Being consistent, that is a tough word for many people. And it could be consistently getting enough sleep. It'd be consistently having enough hydration, making sure that you are having moderation. But that consistency, that C word, is a missing link. And it goes with your mindset. If you're going to be consistent with something, you're going to be able to be committed more, and you'll be able to achieve what you're looking to do. And a lot of
Yeah.
people gain all this weight and they think, oh, I'm going to take this pill, or I'm going to take this gummy, or I'm going to take, this drink, and it's going to help me lose all this weight in a short period of time. And it's not. You'll lose some weight and you're going to gain it all back. But if you
Yeah.
change your lifestyle and implement some of the small ideas and strategies over the course of time, you'll have better success.
Yeah. I think three C's I can think of right now is consistency, commitment, and community. Because like I said earlier, if you have an accountability partner, that community will help you accomplish those goals. You have people cheering you on, you have people supporting you, you have people even going through the same process alongside you, and really check in with other people too. Another thing is, you mentioned water consumption, hydration. You could try something like chia seeds. Put chia seeds in your water. Chia seeds expand after about 10 to 15 minutes, and it actually helps you with your elimination of toxins in your body. It helps your system digest more easily. And so, small things you can do. It doesn't mean you cut out cake. Doesn't mean that you stop, having late night snacks, but moderation just changes certain things that you do so that you do less of the negative. And then you maybe add a little bit more exercise. Maybe you try intermittent fasting for a while, or you skip every other day a certain meal, or you try something different, whether it's segmenting 3 meals into 5 small meals a day. There's lots of things out there that you can try. The point is not go ahead and try a bunch of things now. The point is start with small changes, incorporate them into your day, and then you'll see that those habits start to become natural.
Yes. And here's with the hydration, I'm a gallon of water guy plus, so gallon of water. And if this is a strategy, every hour that you're working, you could set Siri, you could set your alarms, what have you. Every time you walk by your gallon of water, you chug a little bit of it. So you're gonna get through that water. And people say, "Oh, I'm gonna go urinate too. I have to go to the bathroom often." Yes, but it removes toxins. It makes you feel better. You're gonna get yourself into a better situation, and it's a good habit to have. And it's massive value, right? A lot of the things that we're sharing right now, guys, that are just popping in, you're gonna have to wait until this uploads, because you're gonna see in the beginning, all from till now, all the value that you were getting in this conversation. And I want to end with any final thoughts that you can, whatever's in your head right now, that you can drop. I love this because you never know what's going to come out. Is the golden nuggets of those that are watching for wellness, for mindset, for nutrition, whatever you think right now.
Well, I mean, for me, it's different pillars. So I have 5 pillars: spiritual, physical, mental, emotional, and mindset. Relationships. Start with your relationship with God, like whether it's prayer or acknowledge that God's in your life. Start with gratitude. If you're not a very spiritual person, maybe you just express gratitude for what you have. And that gratitude really does bring in more in your life. I do believe that the law of believing is the most powerful law in the universe. So, if you are a person of faith, whether it's you manifest things that you want in your life and boom, 6 months later they're there, or you are a person that really is driven to accomplish your goals, everything really does start with how you perceive yourself and the world around you. And if you believe that you can, you're right. If you believe that you cannot, guess what? You're still right. So shift to the positive because it's only here to serve you and it's only here to empower you in your day-to-day life. And believe me, you'll start to see changes immediately.
Well said. Well said. I want to thank you for being with us today. Lots of value. For those just tuning in or those that have been with us the whole time, don't forget to check out the description. All of the contact information for Bibiana is there. Definitely check all the links out that we can provide from opportunities to have conversations, etc.
Mhm.
And don't forget, guys, to share this video, share any other ones that you see. There's some affirmations. We have some playlists in the Webtalk Legends channel. There's affirmations. There's some great quotes. There's great things you can utilize on your daily. So please use there as a resource. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell because every week we have either a Wednesday or Thursday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're having our Webtalk Legends podcast. So Bibiana, thank you so much for being with us. And I hope that everyone has an amazing rest of their day.
Thank you, Shawn. It's a pleasure.